Welcome to Pixelworks. Today I'll show you exactly how I created this Spider-Man animation. Let's start with the layout. Everything begins with the camera. Instead of animating Spider-Man first, I animated the camera and had it follow an empty object. Once I was happy with the camera movement, I created a simple dummy character using nothing more than a 1 meter cube and a basic head shape. I gave it a bright red material so it would stand out in the scene. At this stage, I'm not worried about details. Like, the goal is simply to block out the movement and make sure the character stays visible to the camera. The idea was pretty straightforward. Spider-Man swings into the scene, drops down, gains momentum, takes another swing, transitions into a wall run, jumps off the wall, lands, runs a few steps, then takes one final swing out of the frame. Once that rough animation felt right, I replaced the dummy with my actual Spider-Man rig. The dummy didn't need to be perfect. It was only there to establish the timing, spacing, and overall motion. I simply matched the real character to those movements. After that came my favorite part, posing. Good poses are what make an animation feel dynamic. Since the root motion was already following the dummy character, I could focus entirely on making each pose look as appealing as possible from the camera's perspective. I experimented with different poses, rotations, and flips until the movement started to feel natural. At this point, it's still just a blocking pass, and I'm not worrying about polish yet. I just want the animation to read well and feel exciting. Next, I focused on timing. I wanted every swing to have weight, a momentum, and a believable sense of gravity. I wasn't even thinking about the run cycle yet. My attention was completely on how Spider-Man would move through the environment and how those movements would look from the camera. Not every pose made it into the final animation, and I tested a lot of ideas, and some simply didn't work. One of the most important moments is the flip during the second swing. And since Spider-Man comes extremely close to the camera, that pose needed to look as strong as possible. It's the shot viewers will notice the most. So I spent extra time refining it. On the other hand, when the character is farther away, I can get away with small imperfections. Maybe a foot clips through a building for a frame or two, but with the distance and motion blur, no one will ever notice. Once the main action was working, I animated the running section by hand. At this point, I realized I had been animating using quaternion rotations, which isn't ideal for 360-degree flips. To fix that, I used a free add-on called Convert Rotation Mode to convert the animation to Euler rotations. Once that was done, I was able to create this backflip as Spider-Man swings through the scene. He lands, runs a few steps, jumps again, lands once more, and finally swings away to end the sequence. And a lot of this process is pure improvisation. You don't have to be mathematically accurate. You just have to make it feel like Spider-Man. If the poses are strong and the timing feels right, the audience will believe the movement. For the web effects, I built my own custom web rig in Blender. Throughout the animation, Spider-Man fires 4 different web shots, and I reused that rig to create each swing. Finally, it was time for lighting and textures. I wasn't a huge fan of Minecraft's default textures for this project, so I switched to the bare bones texture pack. I tweaked a few materials to better match the look I wanted, especially the trees, while using bare bones textures for the dirt, cobblestone, and other blocks. It takes a little bit of tweaking, but the final result looks much cleaner and gives the animation a more stylized feel. For the final render, I wanted the world to feel fast while keeping Spider-Man easy to follow. So I added motion blur to the environment while making sure the character stayed readable throughout the shot. The entire layout took about 10 minutes to set up. Animating the whole sequence took roughly 40 to 50 minutes, and I spent another couple of hours on lighting and rendering to achieve the final look. And with that, here's the finished animation.
Aye, oh, let's go! Aye, oh, let's go! Aye, oh, let's go! Aye, oh, let's go!
And that's how I created this Spider-Man animation from start to finish. I hope you enjoyed this behind the scenes look and maybe even picked up a few tips for your own animations. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments what you'd like to see me create next. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.